Your coding agent is making you dumber. And you can feel it. That nagging sensation when you try to write a function from scratch and your fingers just hover over the keyboard waiting for the ghost text to appear. That is not laziness. That is atrophy. And the companies selling you these tools will never say it out loud because the moment they do, the subscription model collapses. The villain here is not the technology itself. It is the marketing machine wrapped around it. GitHub, in my analysis, appears to have built an entire narrative around developer productivity metrics. Lines of code accepted, time saved, tasks completed, without once publishing longitudinal data on what happens to the skills you stop exercising. Cursor, same story. Impressive inference speeds, beautiful UX, and a total silence on the cognitive cost. They measure output. They never measure capacity. And that asymmetry is not an accident. It is a business model. The product works best when you depend on it most. Let me give you 3 pieces of evidence that this is real and accelerating. First, cognitive offloading. This is a well-documented phenomenon in neuroscience. When you outsource a mental task to an external system, your brain deprioritizes the neural pathways responsible for that task. It is the same reason most people cannot recall 10 phone numbers anymore. Your smartphone ate that capacity. Now apply that to debugging. If your agent handles stack traces, resolves type errors, and suggests fixes before you even parse the error message, your pattern recognition for failure modes degrades. Not in theory, in your actual wetware. The latency between seeing a bug and understanding it grows wider every month you let the agent do the reading for you. Second, algorithmic reasoning. Senior engineers on Hacker News are admitting they struggle with medium-level problems they could have solved cold 2 years ago. The agent handles the implementation so often that the developer stops holding the algorithm in working memory. Fine-tuning your workflow around agent suggestions means your mental model of data structures gets shallower. You are not thinking about time complexity anymore. You are thinking about prompt phrasing. That is a fundamentally different skill, and it does not transfer back when the agent is unavailable. Third, architecture and system design. This one is the most dangerous because it is the hardest to detect. When an agent scaffolds your project, sets up your directory structure, wires your dependency injection, and generates your API layer, you lose reps on the decisions that define senior engineering. The trade-offs between monolith and microservice, the reasoning behind choosing one message queue over another, the weight of a database indexing decision on downstream query latency. These are judgment calls that only sharpen through repetition. Agents do not teach judgment. They skip it. If you have been nodding along and you are still not subscribed, I have to ask what you are waiting for. This conversation is going to get louder and harder, and we are the ones willing to have it. Subscribe. Now here is where someone pushes back. They say tools have always changed what skills matter. Nobody hand compiles assembly anymore. Nobody writes their own memory allocator. That is true. But those abstractions were stable. They were deterministic layers you could trust and build on top of. An LLM-powered coding agent is a probabilistic black box that hallucinates, changes behavior between model versions, and has no guaranteed correctness. The abstraction leaks constantly. And when it leaks, you need the skill it replaced. That is the difference. You cannot compare a compiler to a system that is wrong 15% of the time and confident 100% of the time. So here is where we land. I am not telling you to delete Copilot. I am telling you to be honest about the trade. Every hour the agent writes code you could have written is an hour your hands did not practice the craft. Every debug session the agent shortcuts is a pattern you did not internalize. The tool gets better. You get more dependent. And the gap between what you can do with the tool and what you can do without it becomes the single biggest risk in your career. So tell me, when was the last time you wrote something hard, start to finish, without an agent? And could you still do it today?